What's good, y'all? I'm Jamil Parker representing YSM Sports Media. This is my man, the MMA guru, Dev Williams. What's good, Dev?
Chilling. I'm about to enjoy some family time, but I got some time to rap.
I hear you. News broke while Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury have agreed to financial terms. Representing YSM Sports Media. What's that?
Guess it was some feedback or something. I don't know what that was.
Oh shit, that was weird. Yeah. But they agreed to financial terms. What's your thoughts on that?
The thoughts is we just said Dillian Whyte was going to be sitting for another 2 years, didn't we, last night?
Yep.
We just said it last night. There's no way Eddie Hearn, with the money-making brain that he got, was going to allow Dillian Whyte to step into a position against his cash cow unless it was worth it. And Dillian Whyte ain't worth it. Nobody want that contract. So I'm surprised that it happened this quick. That's what I'm surprised that it happened that fast.
Yo, he did him in, yo. He did him in. Like, you see, the problem I got with people is everything with Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte was Wilder versus Wilder. Wilder's ducking this, Wilder's doing this. Dillian can't get a shot. Okay, well, you as promoter, right? You got a champion with 3 belts, and you've just what you've been complaining about, you helped circumvent for longer.
You got a point.
He's top, like the championship. Dillian Whyte's man though is going to be tied up for 3 fights, and Eddie Hearn, you helped that.
Yeah. But again, that's what we were saying last night. Could be another 2 years before we seen him. So he been ranked there for what? Almost 3 years, no? 2.5, 3 years?
He's been number 1 for like 800 something days. So, look, man, I want to see the fight, but the hypocrisy is hilarious, yo. The hypocrisy is hilarious.
For one, it's a promoter, so promoters have historically, done whatever benefits them the most. And Dillian Whyte versus Joshua just doesn't benefit Eddie Hearn. At the end, say Dillian Whyte wins, you can't really sell Dillian Whyte outside of the fact that he beat Joshua, and then Joshua, gets pushed down a little lower on the totem pole, so it doesn't work out for him in either situation. That just is what it is. Now, do I agree with you that it was dirty? Yeah, it was dirty. I mean, if you put Tyson Fury and Joshua in a position like that, with Whyte still being your fighter, you're supposed to come to him and be like, this is what's happening, and here's a plan until you are able to get the title shot. You line up X, Y, and Z. I can get you the winner of Ortiz versus Ruiz. I can get you another guy, maybe, Povetkin, something. He just got him sitting there waiting.
And that's the thing, though. What you've complained about, what you've been complaining about this whole time, you just helped happen. Yeah, so is everything that you just said for the last year or two fodder, or is just because it didn't have anything to do with your money? Because now that it's Joshua, now it's different. Yeah. It's different. Oh, the world wants the biggest fights. When it was Wilder, he's ducking and he's scared. Like, come on, man. Gotta keep the same energy for everything. Yo.
Look, man, again, promoters have always shown their hand. They always show their hand at some point. I can't name one promoter that hasn't pulled a stunt like this. At this point, I can't even say I call it a stunt. It's expected to happen. And I mean, I feel for Dillian Whyte. As a competitor, I feel for him. But I mean, what can you do?
It's terrible.
I know. It was actually Albie.
It's actually Albie? Oh, tell Albie, come on.
He's actually teaching. He's about to teach.
Okay.
That's all it was. But yeah, it's I feel for him. I really do feel for him. Being jerked around as a fighter is the worst thing, especially with a guy like Dillian Whyte who genuinely just wants to fight. Yeah. And can fight. He's a talented guy. He's tough. He done been in war. He done put on some of the better fights, in the heavyweight division. lately, and he's too good to catch one of these guys like a Joyce coming out or a Triple D coming out, because he's a little too high a profile for that, and he wouldn't make the type of money he needs to make off that. If what Eddie Hearn says is true, because now that you circumventing it, as you said, I don't know how truthful it is that guys don't want to fight White. He's just in a tough position. You're the guy who's dangerous enough, but nobody wants to see, and that's the worst place you can be in and as a fighter. It's the worst place you can be in.
It really is, Joe.
I feel for him.
And it's because it's his own promoter that just makes it that much even worse. Because this is a guy that's supposed to be looking. At the end of the day, you hire him to look out for your best interests. He isn't. He isn't looking out for his best interests. And if he gets gifted the WBC and Fury gets elevated to franchise champion, it's you got an email bill. Everybody's going to look at you as that. As a Devin Haney, as a Charlo, that you got gifted a title.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a. I mean, as a fan, everyone wants to see that fight. It's not like the fight doesn't make sense. It's just that the 800 days prior and now the time after is going to. It's going to take its toll, especially with a guy like Dillian Whyte who ain't getting no younger. You really messing with not just his money over everything. You're messing with his ability to fight and his wanting to fight. As a promoter, those are two things you're supposed to be able to provide: fight opportunities and to make sure that he's paid fairly. Those are the only two things you got to do.
Yeah. And
now that beforehand, I mean, he had some good fights. He had the Parker fight and stuff like that, which. I mean, I'm saying it even though he was, projected to win his last couple of fights he was in. And I don't know specifically what he was paid, but he's looking for a challenge or a payday. And Eddie Hearn's offering him neither one. And this move shows that he's not willing to offer him either one. He's not willing to put the money up for White to get him a bigger name. And he's not willing to do in-house stuff to try to push White up the ladder. It's just like, at this point, I would say they need to have a conversation about walking, because this is not a good situation over there.
No, it's not, because he's not a priority. You don't want to feel like in your promotional company that you're not a priority. And Eddie has shown him time and time again that he's not.
Yeah,
he's not a priority when it comes to matching. He's just not.
It would be one thing if it was, just. Because the Joshua thing is understanding. Joshua's a megastar in sports at this point. He's one of the guys that's kind of transcended boxing almost, where people might recognize him. Walking down the street or in an interview, at least know his name. We can't say the same about Dillian Whyte, but it's not just Joshua who's getting those opportunities on that roster either. You feel me? It's not just Joshua who's constantly getting opportunities to fight for decent paydays.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn got a deep roster, and a lot of his guys stay fairly active. White has fought how many times in the last 2-3 years? Three times?
Yeah, White's been fairly active. Right now, he's lined up to fight Alexander Povetkin, which is a good fight.
Great fight.
It's not the fight.
The fight. And it doesn't even, again, it doesn't create a path to the fight. Povetkin's on his way out.
Yes, Povetkin's on his way out. This is like the last hurrah. Shouts out to Fighter IQ, man. Also, I want to talk to you about this, Dev. You don't find it funny that this is coming on the heels of Joshua's quote unquote racial comments? I don't consider them racial, but fans do. You don't find this odd? This is a complete narrative shift.
We spoke about it with Dana White, and the one thing a promoter specializes in is storytelling. And this happening, I think this hasn't even been a week yet, has it? when there was no talks of them even coming to an understanding. It was kind of like something that was like, maybe it's happening. There was no even definite talk of the fight happening. And then it just immediately like that. I definitely feel like Eddie Hearn, he made a business decision. Let's just put it like that. He made a business decision. He saw an opportunity and he took it. So
I mean, because it's a brilliant market. Because now nobody's talking about racial comments. Everybody's talking about who's going to fight.
So yeah, especially with the whole exchange that Fury and Wilder had. And then you have somebody like Joshua. You could chop up a lot of those Fury versus Wilder interviews to kind of make it seem like there's more of an underlying issue, especially with what we've seen the UK's response to Wilder's speech was. It sells a couple thousand more tickets. I'll tell you that much.
Big, what's good, Big?
What up, man?
Especially
I've been silent, man.
Why are you looking like Batman?
Huh?
Are you looking like Batman, Big? What you doing?
I was just crashed out, man. I was just waking up right now. I saw the invite, so I was like, let me jump on this shit, man.
Hey, Big.
Yeah.
Me and my man Dev, we talking about Joshua versus Fury. They saying the deal is done financially. It's a lot more to be worked out, but they have the financial terms. What's your thoughts on that?
It's way too early. They're announcing a fight like a year ahead, basically.
Yeah.
Way too early.
Yeah.
Once it's actually signed, then that's different.
No, yeah, nothing signed. This is just agreed on in principle, and that's why I was saying I feel like this is like damage control.
It's the same shit like with Canelo and Triple G. They just announced Canelo Triple G a few months ago, and now they're not even fighting. And they announced it when the whole pandemic shit was going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like me personally, I don't think there's really going to be any big fight signed with no fans. That's the whole reason they're saying 2021, because they expect that everything will be cool and they could have a big ass crowd.
Yeah, because the UK is basically all crowds, and you agree to that. All their whole thing is predicated because their pay-per-views don't cost that much. So everything's predicated on putting 100,000 in Wembley or 100,000 in Cardiff or wherever they're planning on fighting.
And they show
that's
up.
Why they said Canelo Triple G and fucking in Dallas, and then now they're not even saying it's not even on no more. I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing Canelo versus Defranchenko, Canelo possibly against Billy, Canelo against Caleb Plant. And yeah.
You're not fighting Caleb. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Caleb, I doubt that he's going to fight Billy. Defranchenko makes sense. That's an easy win for him. He make a decent amount of money. He got just enough of a name.
You think Defranchenko's an easy W?
For Canelo, yeah. I guess most people know, but for Canelo, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He has no problem putting himself in the way to get hit. And you can't just you ain't gonna just walk Canelo down. That's not happening. If Triple G couldn't do it, you ain't doing it. Especially with this newfound Canelo power. I mean, off this meat he's been eating, whatever the hell he's been eating. Because his power is not. You see guys who come up in the. I always give a perfect example. A guy like Terrence Crawford. It's not so much he went up and he got stronger, like he definitely did. But when you go up in weight, you're used to a certain speed. Your eyes are used to a certain speed. And when you go up in weight, you start being able to hit guys in between shots. Like if you look at all Terrence Crawford's knockouts when he moved up to 47, it's all been while the other person was punching, he got the shots in. You're not used to getting hit in those type of situations until you face a smaller guy who's a little bit faster and they clip you. This is true in the gym too. When you get a lot of guys who are big in the gym, they call in smaller guys so they get that type of work where they get smacked in between shots. They start to build that resilience. Canelo just went up and was just knocking motherfuckers out. He not hitting them in between shots. He just punching them in the head and they just tipping over. That makes no sense.
He did Kovalev super dirty.
I don't even want to talk about the Kovalev fight. I've never seen a power puncher not throw power punches.
He was right.
I ain't calling it a work. But I'm saying it looked crazy. It looked crazy. I ain't never seen a power puncher not throw power punches, especially when you decided to take chances and punch on what's the black kid from the UK with the braids who almost got Kovalev out of there. What's his name again?
Yard.
Anthony Yard.
Yard. Yeah, Anthony Yard. When he fought Yard, he was more willing to sit on punches in front of Yard. And Yard is bigger than Canelo and more known as a more violent puncher, not a better puncher, but a more violent puncher than Canelo. Against Canelo, he was out here looking like Arislandi Lara and shit. He was out here tip tapping. I had to look at his corner. I'm like, don't none of them look Cuban to me.
Yo, I didn't see any crusher that night. I just seen Sergey.
That wasn't Sergey. That was Sarah. I don't know who that was.
That was Sarah?
That was Sarah. That wasn't Sergey. That was Simon. I don't know who that was.
Let me ask you this. Who wins that Joshua versus Fury?
Now, I know.
Joshua.
You think Joshua?
Joshua.
I think Joshua too.
Joshua.
And I've said that consistently since the Wilder fight. I think Joshua beats him. Matt, what up, Matt?
I get why people are saying that, and I can't. For one, I don't think anyone should judge the Anthony Joshua fight and how it's going to predict that fight off of what they saw against Wilder. Because for one, completely different fighters, completely different frames, completely different bases. You got to just look at this fight based off what you've seen on them individually. Don't compare it to the Wilder fight or nothing else like that. The fact of the matter is against Tyson Fury is, at the end of the day, he can get guys that look like you. You can't get guys that look like him. That gives him an inherent advantage along with his size. He ain't going to be able to push Joshua around like he was able to push Wilder around. That's just a fact. Joshua's going to be a lot harder to counter than Wilder was. That is also a fact. My issue with Joshua is he going to have the speed to be able to take Fury out of his comfort zone? Because Fury can take a punch. Fury can move in every direction. There's no area where we've seen Fury uncomfortable. We've seen Joshua uncomfortable in a few situations, and he doesn't really have the speed. Also, Joshua, for as good as a combination puncher he is, he fights on a 1-2-3 chain. Meaning if he throws two punches, you can almost guess where the next one's about to come. And that might be easier defensively for him to avoid those heavier shots that end the combinations. I'm not saying he's going to be able to counter Joshua, because Joshua does a good job in combination of making sure he's tucked, shoulders up, and he follows all the way through. So even if he misses, he stays in a pretty hard position to counter him. He does those things well. But there were a lot of things against Vladimir that he did not great, and I think a lot of those things are going to show in the Tyson Fury fight. That's not saying that Joshua isn't a completely good fight, but if I'm tipping it, I'm gonna go 70-30 Fury.
That if Fury doesn't, all right, so I'll look at it two ways, right? The push around thing, that's number one, because if you watch Tyson Fury, a lot of his infighting just comes from hold club with the right hand and a lot of dirty tactics, which is Joshua's a big dude. So you're not just strolling on him like that.
Yeah.
And Joshua has a stronger base than Wilder. His legs are really big. He has a very strong core. All right. And then I look at punch variation. Like you said, Joshua's a great a great combination puncher.
Yeah.
Throws like a really good uppercut.
Yeah.
Fury has the tendency to not jab coming forward. He does the hold.
Not consistently. Not consistently.
Yeah. He jabs backing up,
yeah.
but he really doesn't jab coming forward. He puts the paw out there to hold you, and then he throws the right hand.
Yeah.
I can see a situation where Joshua goes to the body.
And this is what I was actually about to interrupt you with is going to the body against Fury is a lot harder than people think. And just because you made a video, or I don't know if it was a comment that I saw when you were saying that you really believe that Joshua was going to be able to win. And I was saying in my own head that the body punches was going to have to, especially the body jab, because there's a very good body jab. He sneaks it in between. It's not as stopping as much as like a Floyd or Andre Ward's was where it stops you in the track. But it's very scoring. And with a big dude like him who's heavy-handed, it's going to take some wind out of you. He's been countered a lot going for that jab to the body because he doesn't shut people's motion down with it. Like, he has a good pop on it, but it doesn't have that stiffness where it stops you in your tracks. Fury is very good at countering people who goes to his body. Another thing about Fury is that we don't know what Fury we're going to get. And that's the thing that makes Fury more of a special fighter, is that the Fury we got in the first Wilder fight is not the one in the second Wilder fight. Not saying it's the same. It's going to be the same as Wilder. The difference that we've seen is great fighters adjust between fights, and great fighters take note of who they fight and make adjustments in camp to handle that. When I saw Joshua fight Vladimir, he got caught with the same shit Vladimir has caught everyone with for the last 15, 20 years. He got caught with the same inside paw to straight right hand when he catches you leaving your left hand out, how he paws it down, hits you with the right hand, the same type of uppercuts. He got clinched in the same exact way. Another thing about Joshua is that I don't know if it's that he doesn't trust his chin as much or if he just doesn't like it. There's a certain sense of urgency that he doesn't seem to have when it comes to having to hunt someone down. He's very good at getting guys out of there. If he catches you, he'll get you out of there. But it's not like I need to hunt a dude down. We saw flashes of it in the Vladimir fight. But to that note, Vladimir was tired, old, and already on his way out. All right, and that's nothing against him. Fury's is as big as Joshua is. Fury's also, again, height makes a difference in that clinch, and Fury gonna be leaning over top of Joshua's head the whole time.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying that's gonna be
Josh is the stronger man.
He is a stronger man, but you
like
still
got. Yeah, but Fury's going to be going in there, what, 260, 270? He
might come in 275. You never know. Yeah. We don't know. He might come in looking like Slim Jimmy. He might just come. You never know. He might come in slim. He might look like Steve Cunningham out this motherfucker in his next fight. We don't know. I think that's what makes Fury interesting.
There's a few things I think about. One, Fury doesn't handle success well. For whatever reason, he does not handle success well.
That's very true. Very true.
Fury will box Joshua, and I think that's where Joshua has his chance. Joshua will be coming forward, and Joshua will get him. I don't see Fury fighting Joshua the way he just fought Wilder.
No.
I think he'll go back to boxing if he fights AJ. So that's why I think AJ has the advantage.
Do you think do you think Fury can win a decision trying to outbox Joshua?
No, because AJ's going to land the better combinations and the better punches. You got to think about it. It's in the UK, but if it's in the UK, the money's with AJ, dog.
Yeah.
The money's with AJ all the way.
All day.
If it's a close decision, I think they'll give it to AJ, but I think he's in a way he'll win fair and square. I just think it's the only guy that can beat Fury, realistically. It's the only guy.
That's true. That's the only guy that I would give him because of the combination punches. The question is again, what game plan is Fury going to implement to handle those combination punches?
That's the thing, because I still feel like you can pressure AJ and that'll make him fold, but I don't think Fury's going to fight him like that. Fury's not going to fight him like that.
Not even so much pressure. AJ is weird. If you see him fight, and I don't know if sense of urgency was the word, you can see that he questions himself in certain situations. It'll be situations where he has the opportunity to start pressing the lead, and he'll fall back a little bit. That could be him just trying to rest on his rounds. It could be he might be worried. I'm not sure, but he has had a tendency to let a fight get boring.
I think that's lack of experience.
It could be that too.
And then trying not to tire out on purpose. It kind of looks like he's trying to pace himself, like he's scared he's gonna gas out real fast.
Well, we know he gasses out every fight except for the last one. We know
there's times where he's like, you see him take that deep breath. He's like, you know what I mean?
That's all that muscle. That's all that muscle and that lactic acid buildup.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying when it comes to. I'm not saying that when it comes to leaning on a guy, you don't have to be stronger. You just have to be able to make him carry you. How Joshua responds to the clinch is going to say a whole bunch. If he puts his arms out, relaxes, and just waits for the ref to break it, then that's going to be smart. If he gets into a situation where Fury is constantly tying him up and he's constantly pushing Fury off, 2 or 3 rounds, your arms are going to burn out. Especially at heavyweight. Especially at heavyweight. It's not so much, and maybe this speaks to the experience, I don't think it's going to come down to who's the better technical boxer in this fight. It's going to be whose tactics in the fight and who's going to be able to dictate where and how the fight takes place. Not so much the skill. I will go on record saying that I think fundamentally on offense, AJ is better than Tyson Fury. I think his offense, if they start exchanging, I don't think Fury stays there too long. You feel me? I feel like if he tries to go combination with combination, he tries to walk him down like how he did Wilder, he might get finished in this fight. He might get finished. I'm not saying he lose. I think he might get hurt bad in this fight. But if he decides to move in and out, to take a couple rounds to wear Joshua out, to make himself hard to land combinations on, like we know he can, it ain't the most exciting. You can only land combination if you get a guy to stand still. Joshua is not one to reach and rush a combination. He's going to hit you when he knows he can hit you. If he can do that for a couple rounds, then he might give himself opportunity. Back to the point we just said, that makes for a close fight, though, because you can lose rounds doing shit like that. And doing that in the UK might not be the best idea. So it's going to be what type of tactics are they going to bring in to win this fight? I think a lot of what Fury is going to do is to be to gas AJ out. I think a lot of what AJ is going to do is try to land those 2 or 3 like marquee combinations in a round where he can just throw 1-2 up top, slam a nice flashy shot to the body, rest on that, and just win round after round after round and wait for Fury to come in and try to steal rounds back in exchange. That's how I see it going, but it's a great fight.
Josh has a very awkward way of throwing an uppercut. I know y'all noticed that in the Klitschko fight, he kind of like leans over and shoots it across his body. Now, Fury has the tendency to try, to when he has you in the clinch, to lean on you. Yeah, I can see a situation.
He leans over the shoulder. That's why he doesn't get caught with the uppercut. He leans over the shoulder, especially when it's AJ's. They both coming in orthodox. He likes to keep his left shoulder pointed under the chin or in the chest, and he leans over the opposite shoulder. So if AJ's trying to throw a right uppercut, he's already in a position to roll with it. Guys have tried to do it. What AJ can do is if he tries it a couple times and starts chopping over the top, that's the exact situation when Cunningham caught Tyson with something just like that. We just chopped him right over the chop when Fury tried to turn with it. And then if you turn and someone chops over the top and they clip you behind the ear, you go down. Situations like that is going to be where he gets it. I don't think it's going to be the uppercuts or the body punching. Those big strengths that we know Wilder, the big strengths that we know AJ for, I don't think he's going to be able to use those. I think he's going to have to show more different skills or show different ways to get into those situations to throw that. Because Tyson Fury is I don't know, Dev. Tyson Fury is a type fighter. He's in the gate.
When you talked about him leaning, when you talked about him leaning, right?
Yeah.
You can You remember the what do they call it, the rip or bump and go?
Yeah.
I can see Joshua. Now I don't know if this is in a skill set because I've never seen him do it, but I can see him bumping and shooting.
Yeah.
And then coming over the top.
That would happen if y'all were the same height. Tyson Fury's too tall. He's already prepared to roll out. He's too tall. He's not jump. He doesn't lean and get his head below someone's chest. He just rests his chin over their shoulder, keeps in a position to roll. That's it. It's real simple. The thing with Fury is that he's a negate type fighter. Whatever you're trying to do, he just tries to take it away until you get frustrated and then he starts trying to capitalize on it. You saw it when he fought Klitschko and gave us that dumbass awkward style.
Oh man, that was the AB. Was that not the boringest fight you ever see?
Honestly, I didn't even watch the fight. I just seen highlights.
Oh my God. This was the fight. Feint, jab, jab. Feint, clinch. Yeah. That's the whole fight. Yep.
What I'm saying.
Hey, let me ask y'all, how does Joshua's profile change in the US if he beats Fury? Because I've been hearing positive things because he was at the protest, so they said that now Joshua's getting a lot of love now and this and that. You know what I mean?
So
let me know what you think.
You don't even need, honestly, you don't even need to win.
Say hi.
Hi. You don't even need to win because he stood when a lot of people didn't think he would.
Yeah.
And he caught backlash in the UK. In the US now, everybody looks at him completely different.
They're like, damn, they're like, AJ Hearn is fuck.
AJ's invited to the cookout. Right now, AJ's invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
So
sentiment.
I can see AJ at the cookout with his do-rag on with the cape out. And you know, like
doing his hot 9-7 freestyle and shit.
Yeah. So and the US likes Fury. That's the thing because he rolls like a US fighter, talks a lot of shit, and backs it up.
Yeah.
But I got a question for y'all too, and I know B's gonna hate because B's a hater, right? If you're Deontay Wilder, doesn't this make you take it up a notch? Because now you got these guys out here making fights like dude's gonna beat you again. Like the pride. Doesn't the pride get you all in this area here? What's your thought?
All right. So basically, he's left out. Like that's basically what's going on. They're basically gonna sign 2 fights and they're gonna leave him out.
He better go fight Dillian Whyte and stop playing.
Well, he still has the third fight with Fury. That's what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
But B, how would you feel if a dude just goes ahead and signs a fight knowing he got you next?
Oh, so hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so make me understand. So he's supposed to still fight Wilder and then fight Joshua?
They had a 3-fight clause. They had a title loss clause.
This is basically for next year.
So so Wilder's not like stepping aside or any bullshit like that, like they were saying?
Mm-hmm. Wilder wanted it in June. He wanted to be fighting now. He wanted to fight in June.
Well, they were supposed to fight July. It was July 18th. But then that shit because of Corona. Which is good for Wilder because he needed more time than that.
Ain't enough time to make that up. Not that gap. He just got the reality of him fighting. The reality of him fighting Fury is that he's going to be throwing darts and hoping that he hits the board. That's the reality of that fight.
Hey, but at the same time, Dev, you already hit the board twice. You hit the board twice, and you shook the board.
Yeah. But look, everybody got a number. And I don't care what type of fighter you are, you got a number. You took 2 of them, but taking that 3rd or 4th one, you might not get back up the same way. I'm not saying he going to even land it. I doubt that he'll land it. He might just get walked down and beat up again, which will be it will really tarnish his career because for lack of experience and skill set, he's accomplished a lot, especially boxing very late in his career. The reason he got even into boxing is a great story, and he did a lot with a little bit. But getting beat up like that twice, if he gets beat up, like we're not talking about if he get outboxed. If he gets walked down, beat up again, like your corner showed mercy for you, homie. Like they threw the towel in. I'm not saying they shouldn't have threw the towel in, but that's one of the worst ways to lose. You get beat up again, it soils a little bit of your legacy. And I hope that wouldn't happen to him.
And if he wins?
If he wins, but here's the thing. See, if he wins, nothing really. He was all. I would. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I have such a biased opinion because I feel the same way about all fighters. So I can't speak.
With Wilder, dog, Wilder was literally right there to become a fucking superstar. If he would have beat Fury, like in the rematch, like knocked him the fuck out, Wilder would be fucking humongous right now, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he was big already. I mean, he would
have been like starting to make 50 million every fight. He would have been that big if he would.
Yeah, he would have been. He would have been approaching that, like
huge fucking.
He'd have been around that Canelo level. He'd have been around that type of recognition where it's like, oh, you making a different type of money now. I don't know how long it would last because it wouldn't be nobody else for him to fight except AJ. But
does he still get that if he wins though? If he wins, it's a bigger story.
No.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, because the narrative is already when you lose, you lost on the back foot.
That loss was bad, dog. Even if he comes back, people know he can get beat. That's the difference.
Here's also the difference. Okay, but that's the Floyd effect. Because Joe Frazier beat the shit out of Ali. Y'all forgot about that?
Yeah, we get that. But this is a different situation. This is a different situation. Here's why. Because of the narrative of Wilder of the fight. The first fight was, if you catch me, then you'll win the fight. You caught him, didn't win the fight. Second narrative of the fight is, I'm going to catch you this time. You didn't, and you got stopped yourself. So the narrative is always going to be if you catch him. The only way he's going to win is if you catch him. So if you catch him, everyone's just going to consider it a lucky punch. It's like, oh, you finally caught him. You finally hit the dartboard. That's all it is.
That'll be bullshit. That'll be bullshit.
All right, and I don't think that anyone looked at it as anything different. Look, when Wilder lost, it wasn't like people were surprised. They were surprised how he lost.
Yeah,
you feel me? It wasn't like people were surprised, especially after the first fight. It was like, damn, he boxed your skull off. You landed, and he got back.
Like you hate it.
You know what I'm saying?
Seems like you hate death.
No, I'm saying this is the truth. You've been in the gym.
No, I'm saying. You're telling me if after getting beat up like that, if you come back, if he comes back and stops Fury, you don't think that will shoot his star up?
It's going to be the punch he was supposed to land after two fights that you finally landed in the third. That's all it's going to be.
One man, one Marquez.
Different fight. Reason being is because people already thought that he had won two of those fights. And you got to remember in the first fight.
we talking about the punch. He baptized him this stuff.
Again, the narrative of the fights were different. It was like, Marquez was a person who people thought could beat Pacquiao. He just kept getting the dirty end of the stick. Wilder, no one thought he could beat him outside of landing that one punch. You landed it, didn't get him out of there. You got beat on the back foot and then knocked out in the second. I mean, stopped in the second fight.
He was the favorite the first fight.
He was who bets against Wilder on Vegas lines? No one would bet against you on a Vegas line. That's stupid to do. If you talk to a person, be like, who you think gonna win this fight? They'd probably say Fury. Who are you going to bet on? You never get against Wilder.
B, I didn't even get a chance to ask you, B. What do you think about what Eddie Hearn is doing to Dillian Whyte?
Fuck Dillian Whyte.
Well, what about it? Or fill me in.
Dillian's the man, though.
He's been that for a decade or some shit.
So he caught up. He already know the deal. He caught up.
This dude. Yo.
So okay, I did see something about a franchise title, and then like they're probably gonna try to make the regular WBC title Dillian Whyte and somebody else. Are you talking about that?
He's going to be upgraded to regular champion. Fury's going to be upgraded to franchise champion.
There you go.
But he doesn't get the big fight. So what Eddie's been complaining about, Eddie's going to turn around and do to his own fighter.
Yeah, of course. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he? That's the game. They're gonna talk all that shit, but they're gonna turn around and do it.
Yo, that's yo funny because it's like I'm the only one that's like, damn. Everybody else like, yeah. Who's Dillian Whyte?
It makes perfect sense. Dog, if he's willing to put Chavez Jr. in with a shit show like that in Phoenix, Arizona, bro, I don't put nothing past that dude, dog, at all. Nothing past him.
You put Junior in any fight.
Yo, that was a shitty. Yo, who still believes in Chavez? Yo,
yo, Junior. Listen, his dad don't believe in him. When his dad turned his head in the Canelo fight, it was the saddest thing I ever watched. I remember eating my slice of pizza, watching that fight, and putting it down, looking at my son and saying, "You bet not ever do no shit like that."
You looked at your son.
And my son was an infant at this point. He's probably 8 months old when this happened. I remember looking at my son and be like, "If a redhead boy beat you up like that, and all you do is call him," especially it's like, come on, Chavez, you was supposed to be the. I'm just gonna walk him down. He's scared to fight Mech. They had you running up the Aztec mountains and all that shit. You sold it. Like I knew he was gonna lose, but when they break out the Aztec mountains, that's like somebody going to Wakanda and doing push-ups. It was different. That motherfucker, they sold me that fight. I was like,
you thought the spirit of his ancestors was in there? He thought
something. And his pop was talking that shit. His pop was like, we from the gutter, and then Canelo was like, bro, I'm from the gutter.
No, hey, his pops was lying. Yeah. His pops was lying. His pops is from the gutter. Chavez Jr. is from the goddamn gutter.
In the build up to the fight, I think it was, because they had a couple of, I think it was a 3-part series for that one. I think it was in the second episode, Canelo spoke directly to Chavez, looking at the cameras like, you should be ashamed of your son trying to make his name off of what you came from. He was like, me and my family slept in one house and we all had to fight to make money. I had to fight since I was a child to make money. Your kid has been riding Lamborghini since he could open his eyes. And I was like, damn, you got a point. But then they showed the Aztec mountains. I was like, I ain't trying to hear that shit. That man up in the mountain.
Man.
I thought he was throwing little kids down the steps, drinking their blood. I thought he was on a whole different type time. Wrong, bitch.
Hey, Bo.
What's up?
What's your thoughts? Joshua versus Fury supposedly agreed on financial terms. And what's your thoughts on the Dillian Whyte situation? Go ahead, get him.
Hey man, Dillian Whyte, it's funny, right?
Dillian Whyte.
No, it's funny, man, because everybody thought it was Wilder that was gonna put the fuck to him, right? Now, never mind the fact that WBC been putting it to him, but Dillian is blaming everybody but the one person he should blame, which is Eddie. Eddie actually made this agreement. Eddie made the agreement. Eddie is out here like, fight Oscar Rivas. Fight Povetkin. Goddamn, you beat him too? Shit. Fight Lucas Brown. Like Eddie. it's like, wait a minute. Eddie, you got the guy right there, man. So the bottom line is, man, and Dillian should have known this was coming. Dillian is like Dillian is that guy, right? He's that offensive lineman, right? That always protects Tom Brady, right? But when Brady leave, but when Brady leave, right? And the offensive lineman is like, all right, man, I want to renegotiate my contract. No, nigga, we don't need you no more. Brady ain't here. The fuck? Renegotiate your contract. No. You can go. You can go.
Never have I heard such a more disrespectful and accurate argument in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean, if you look at what they just did, but if you look at what they just did, they pretty much, because mind you, in 2021, by February 2021, the WBC made it very clear that whoever holds the belt got to fight Dillian Whyte.
Yeah.
Now
Beyond
he's
clear.
saying, hey, right. So he's saying, hey man, we got 2 fights in 2021, right? And Eddie agreed to it. So you know what Eddie gonna be like? He gonna go talk to him. Look, Dillian, look, mate, look. I understand you want Joshua, okay? But I'm gonna put some money in your pocket, mate. All right? Yeah, I'm gonna make you.
When somebody tells you look more than once, you know it's gonna be bullshit. Get him, Bo.
You know, right? That's what I'm saying, dog. Because man, look, at the end of the day, this is about money, and unfortunately, Dillian, money is gonna trump anything I want, you want, what Dillian want. Hell, money is gonna dictate what the WBC. The only people that don't care about that money is the IBF. They the only motherfuckers. You know, they'll be like, nah, dog, you got to fight our dude. Thank you very much. Give us that belt. Thank you very much. They the only people is the IBF. Everybody else gonna fall in line, and that's the reason why Bob is even saying, well, if Dillian tries to force the issue, you know, and notice when Bob said that we'll advocate the WBC to make Fury a franchise champion. What happened? Oh no, man, we got a 2-fight deal. We got a 2-fight deal. We can't have that. We can't have that. Then on top of the fact, a lot of this also is Anthony Joshua made statements that had UK people all up the fuck set. He was no longer the lovable golden boy. You know what I'm saying? He was no longer the good Negro. He he wasn't. He went from Sugar Ray Leonard to Muhammad Ali, just like that. Overnight, dog. And the thing about it is, and this goes like, whether you like Anthony Joshua or don't like him, this is what you have to respect about it. The fact that this is a move that they made, that tells you they knew Anthony Joshua wasn't going to apologize for what he said. They knew he was going to stand on that. That's why he told everybody, if you think I'm racist, fuck you. Because they knew, listen, Anthony ain't going to issue no apology. He ain't going to apologize. So, you know, he didn't went off script. It is what it is, but we got to distract everybody. I know what we'll do. We'll say that they agreed to a fight. We'll make it look like the fight's happening when really it's just we're just agreeing to financial terms in principle. Yeah, well, I mean, that's actually what every fight is, right? Every fight is an in principle agreement. You know what I'm saying? Every fight is that. So, I mean, I get it. And they had to do what they had to do because the reality is you don't want to ruin the money. Anthony Joshua's statements could possibly ruin the money if he gets past Pulov to fight Tyson Fury, because they want to have this in the UK and it could possibly ruin the money. So they don't want to ruin that, man. And at the end of the day, man, look, to me, whether a person makes a statement or whatever it is, like for me, that's how you actually make money. Let them get out there. Let them say that. You know what I'm saying? Let them do that. Let them make people mad. You know how many people now are going to come to watch him get beat by Tyson Fury? Like, think about it. UK, at once upon a time, couldn't even talk Tyson Fury. Now, they hoping he beat both Anthony, he beat Joshua now. You know?
Crazy but 2 years ago, that's what the case was. Nobody cared.
Yeah, but when you think about it, man, that like, and I get what they're trying to do. They want to protect that image. But, you know, when you think about it, man, that's actually going to make more money than anything, because all them UK people, they mad at him. They really mad at him. Now, me personally, man, look, there's a lot of hypocrisy in boxing. I've said this all the time, right? They gave Tyson Fury a 50-50 split. When Wilder had that belt, there was no 50-50 split. They was like, nah, he only has one belt. For Tyson Fury, no, we need a 50-50 split. And that's all because of the circumstance, because it's going to be a massive UK fight, right? So you give him a 50-50 split. You get this done. And they pretty much have told Dillian Whyte, Dillian Whyte, you're out. And you're out. You're out, dog. You've been waiting 3 years. Like, if you think about what Eddie says and the moves he makes, he always talks about Whyte getting that belt. But when it comes down to moves, getting him to that belt, no, he's going to make the best moves for money. And that's what a lot of these fans have to understand. All of these promoters, I don't care who you are, Heyman, Aarons, Hearn, they are all about that money. Whatever fight's going to make them the biggest amount of money, those are the fights they're going to make. Whether I like it or you like it. If they know, hey, we want to see Earl Spence fight Terrence Crawford. Okay, bet. How much money will Earl Spence and Manny Pacquiao make? Make that much money? Oh yeah, make that fight first. Make that fight. That's just what they do, man. It's business, man.
And Lil, this is why sometimes I ain't mad at Dana White, man. Sometimes I ain't mad at him. Sometimes I ain't mad at Dana White. Dana White be like, you number one, you number two, y'all gonna fight? Oh well, you don't want to fight? Fuck it. We move on to number three. That's how I go.
Yeah.
If I'm Dillian Whyte, my first phone call, Al Heyman, get me out this contract.
No. Remember, see, but see, here's the thing about that though, right?
It's dinner time. I got to hop out.
I bet.
All right, Dev.
All right, Dev. Here's the thing about that though, man, is that if Deontay Wilder loses, going to Al Heyman don't help Dillian Whyte at all, period. Because right now, what do you do with him? I mean, what do you do with him? Because you got Wilder, you got Kalnacki, you got Luis Ortiz. So if he leaves, I mean, that's going to push him further away from a title because Eddie could be like whoever wins between Fury and Joshua. Eddie and Bob both could be like, well, hey, we're not worried about him right now.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So, because the main dude is, if he goes to Al Heyman, he's gonna be behind Deontay Wilder. He's gonna be second fiddle to Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
So because they're gonna try to rebuild Deontay Wilder. See what I'm saying? So I mean, right now he's stuck. I mean, but he had a chance to go to Al Heyman in the first place and he didn't. So that's on him, man. But I mean, I just think it's messed up how he's being done. And listen, I'm not somebody that likes Dillian Whyte like that. But what has been done to him and what's being done to him, dog, I wouldn't wish that on somebody I really have a dislike for because you worked that hard. Think about it, man. Ever since losing Anthony Joshua, we fought 11 fights?
Yeah.
Okay, Dominic Breazeale fought 1 and fought 4 titles.
Yo, this the crazy thing I want you to think about, right? It's not only the fact that all these guys have gotten title shots and Dillian Whyte hasn't gotten one. It's the fact that these guys have gotten multiple. Mm-hmm. Alexander Povetkin, multiple title shots. Luis Ortiz, multiple. Andy Ruiz, multiple. Joseph Parker, multiple. Pulev, multiple. Dominic Breazeale, multiple. Come on, man. It's crazy. This is this is getting crazy, yo.
No, boy, no, it's beyond crazy. It's obvious now that you're not part of the plan. That's just what it is. It's not even crazy. It's just it's now obvious you are no longer part of the plan. You're not part of the plan, not the big picture plan. You know what I'm saying? You part of the, where you make $3-4 million plan, but you ain't part of that 10, 15, 20. No, you ain't part of that plan.
Yeah.
And in this business, but I just want everybody to have that same energy they have for Wilder and Heyman. I want y'all to have that same energy for Hearn and Arum. I want them to have that same energy.
They won't. They'll just say, "Oh, but we need an undisputed champ." That's what they'll say. That'll be the excuse.
Yeah, well, we need an undisputed champ when Wilder was trying to fight AJ, and y'all was telling him fight Dillian Whyte. We need an undisputed champ then.
Fight Dillian Whyte first.
Yeah, we need an undisputed champ then. So no, man, oh man, me personally, I love it because this is making everybody look at themselves and whether they admit it or not. But you got to take a long look at yourself, man. If you was the person advocating for Dillian Whyte when Wilder had that belt, then you should be the same person advocating for him now that Fury has that belt. And it's crazy because Dillian Whyte even accused Wilder of, he said he thinks Wilder would accept the franchise. Matter of fact, Eddie said the same thing. Eddie said, you can't believe what Wilder says. They thought he would accept the franchise tag. Well, hey man, hey, like I said, I love it. I personally love it. It shines a light on what we say all the time. This is why I say, don't don't be going behind here, putting your faith behind these entities, man. They're gonna do what's best for them at the end of the day.
Right.
At the end of the day, man.
This is an epic shafting. Would you say? Would you tell me earlier? No Vaseline.
Right. This Ice Cube. Ice Cube. Listen, somebody need to make a video with Dillian Whyte making these sad, fucked up faces with Ice Cube's No Vaseline playing.
Yo, it's crazy.
He getting it.
And the thing is, right? Number one, who was his management?
That's what I'm saying.
Who manages Dillian Whyte? Because I know I'll be leaving all kinds of crazy messages on Eddie Hearn's voicemail.
But see, the thing of it is, though, Eddie don't care because, listen, Eddie has the money, which is Anthony Joshua. Joshua is the money. Joshua is the thoroughbred. You know what I'm saying? Joshua is the main quarterback, while Dillian Whyte is just the backup quarterback. You know? So, you know, it is, man. Listen, you know, what's happening to Dillian Whyte is wrong. Let me make this very clear. What's happening to Dillian Whyte is wrong. I don't care if y'all say he turned down this and I don't care. That man been in that position for 3 years. Right? That man been in that position for a very long time. So he should be next. And I'm gonna say it again. Eddie has always talked about Dillian getting his title shot, but the moves he makes don't put Dillian nowhere near a title shot.
No,
that's what I'm saying. You know,
it started with the fact of when he was trying to start pushing for the Dillian Wilder fight. When Wilder said, "Okay, well, put Joshua in that contract with Dillian, we got a deal." No. So apparently, like he's always said the right things, but he consistently showed that Dillian wasn't a part of his plan.
No,
he wasn't.
No, and I mean, like when you think about it, they did the same thing. Think about this: they did the same thing to Luis Ortiz. He brought in Luis Ortiz. Everybody thought, "Oh man, Luis Ortiz is going to fight AJ." Well, Luis Ortiz had left, never got AJ, left, and wound up getting a fight with Deontay Wilder. Now, of course, people are going to say, and I know how people are going to say, "Wait a minute, God damn it, Bo! Now, damn it, you old head! They offered Luis Ortiz a contract." Yes, they offered him a contract to fight Joshua, knowing that he was already scheduled to fight Wilder. So he couldn't take that fight. That's why Luis Ortiz had a $10 million guarantee when he fought Wilder.
They basically just drove the price up.
That's basically what they did. Because everybody and their mama knew that Wilder was going to rematch Ortiz. So they made Ortiz the offer to fight AJ. And when they basically priced himself out, and mind you, once he did it, that's when the narrative, oh, AJ scared of Ortiz, that went away immediately. And then the next thing you know, he wound up fighting Wilder, like we said, and he had this guarantee. Wilder I think both of them had a guarantee. Wilder had a $20 million win. Luis Ortiz had an $8 million one or something like that, right? So yeah, man, So I mean, he knew what he was doing. He knew, hey man, he can't fight him. He got this fight. So, but I don't, honestly speaking, man, in real talk, I don't know what Dillian Whyte does from here on out, because where can he go? The three factions that's kind of fucking him. If he leaves Eddie, he can't go to top rank because Bob has made it clear. Bob focus is Tyson Fury. He's not. No, he got Tyson Fury. He got Kubrat Pulev, right?
Jarrell
Miller. So Dillian Whyte will probably be fourth fiddle. You go over to PBC, their main focus is rebuilding up Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And right, they want to rebuild Wilder, rebuild Ruiz, and Adam Kalnaki. And hell, you can even throw Luis Ortiz in there. So he'll have other guys he'll be behind. The only thing you can hope is that in trying to build Wilder, they put him in there with Dillian Whyte.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
What about Usyk?
Usyk, that's another problem, because Usyk is the WBO man, though. So depending on who wins, if Tyson Fury wins, he rematches Joshua. And if he wins again, then more than likely they're going to try to make the Usyk fight, because Usyk is the WBO #1 contender. See what I'm saying? So they'll look to make the Usyk fight because, honestly speaking, that actually might be worth more than Dillian over here in the U.S.
Because if Joshua wins, right?
Right.
They already saw you fight Dillian Whyte. He knocked you out. You know what I'm saying? He knocked Dillian Whyte out. But it means a little bit more because Usyk, we've never seen Usyk versus Joshua. We don't know what that looks like.
Right. That's true. I think the only thing that would make it still intriguing to some people is the fact that Dillian Whyte has won all these fights against all these really top fighters, right? He's won, since fighting Anthony Joshua, and he's shown some improvement. So there'll be a bit of curiosity. But when it comes to Usyk, like you said, man, you look at Usyk and you be like, I don't know, man. He could give AJ some issues and problems because that boy's a mover, you know. Yeah. And the same thing with Tyson Fury. Be like, I don't know, man. That dude's a pretty good mover too. So yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like from what I'm looking at, I don't see Dillian Whyte getting a shot in 2021. I just don't see it because they're talking 2 fights. Because let's just say for whatever reason he fights Deontay Wilder October.
Yeah.
Well, you can guarantee he's not going to fight Anthony Joshua before February 2021. You know, if he fights him October or November, I guarantee you, man, he's not fighting Anthony Joshua before February 2021.
No.
So the WBC, right? So the WBC is going to have to push it out. Now, let's say he fights Anthony Joshua March or April. And he either one to win, but there's a rematch clause. There's a rematch clause, right? Whoever loses automatically gets, first dibs. So that fight, let's say they fight March or April. Let's just say April, beginning of April. Well, after that fight, they might not schedule another fight for another 3 months down the line. So when do you get to Dillian Whyte?
So basically what you're telling me is Dillian Whyte may not get a shot till 2022.
If he doesn't take an L. If he takes an L, he's done. And that'll be real tragic because if he takes an L and he loses that spot, that's tragic. That'll be real tragic. That'll be real tragic, man.
I would have never seen anything like this. Like normally a dude who's perennially been in the top 10, top 5, top 10 gets at least one crack. You know what I mean?
Right.
A one shot at the guy. And like, yo, man.
Actually, when you think about it, there's something similar that's going on, except he's actually following this dude to every division he goes to, and that's Demetri Andre and Canelo Alvarez. Because remember when Andre was the champion, he was chasing Canelo. Then when Andre went up, Canelo went down and grabbed Andre's old belt. Now both of them is at 160, and he still ain't looking at Demetrius Andre.
Yeah, that's funny because at the lower weights, because there's so much moving and jumping up, it's a guy like Demetrius Andre who has a belt can become a world champion. There's no moving up in the heavyweight division.
Exactly.
So there's no way to avoid a guy by moving up in weight, moving down in weight, and so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah, and we've seen that. We've seen guys do that a plethora of times in boxing. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying as far as the heavyweight division is like you can't go up or down, man. Dude, he's right there, and they just like they're like, oh, there go Dillian. Where? I don't see him. He's right there. Where? Right there, Eddie. Right, put on your glass. I don't see him. You don't see that big black motherfucker right there.
Yo, you remember when Lou DiBella said? Dillian Whyte? Who's Dillian Whyte? He's just some guy.
Well, you know what's crazy, right? Remember all those people that was on Deontay Wilder butt about fighting Luis Ortiz?
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is he actually fought Luis Ortiz, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how come? So all those people who supposedly was on Wilder butt about fighting White, how come y'all ain't on Fury or Anthony Joshua because, mind you, Dillian Whyte could have fought Anthony Joshua. He was number one by the WBO. He could have fought Anthony Joshua long before this situation went the way it went. Because remember, Usyk hadn't even moved up yet. He could have fought Anthony Joshua. Why didn't that fight happen? Why was he fighting the Lucas Browns and the, you know what I'm saying? Why was he fighting these dudes? He could have fought. You had a good point. When you look at Dominic Breazeale, he lost to AJ, and I think he had what, 2 fights before fighting Wilder?
Yeah.
Okay. Luis Ortiz failed a drug test. Had 1 fight, fought Deontay. He failed a drug test. Had 1 fight, fought Deontay, loses. Have 1 more fight, fights him again.
Yo, this is like okay, so I'm gonna hit you with this. There have been more Al Heyman fighters that have fought Anthony Joshua than matchroom.
That's true. That's true. Let me see. Well, you mean here lately?
I'm talking about in general. Okay, so if you look at AJ's opponents when he became world champion, Charles Martin.
Okay, yeah.
Charles Martin fought AJ. Dominic Breazeale fought AJ. That's 2.
Eric Molina.
Eric Molina. So Eric Molina has had 2 title shots, and Dillian Whyte doesn't have any.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right.
Like, that's crazy, yo.
Hey, wait a minute. And didn't Charles Martin and Gerald Washington just fight in the IBF title eliminator?
Oh, wait. Yeah. You're right.
That was the title eliminator.
Wow. I didn't even think about that, yo.
That's crazy, bro.
So,
that's crazy, fam.
Artur Spilka, Johan Duapis, Eric Molina all have had title shots. Bernays Taverne, too. Who else can we name?
He's another one that had 2. Well, he won the title. Well, I mean, he had the title, lost to Deontay Wilder, had 1 fight, and fought Deontay.
Carlos Takam, title shot.
Carlos Takam, yeah, he fought AJ. Who else fought AJ? Povetkin.
Povetkin's had 2.
Yeah, but Povetkin's not a matchroom fighter, though, is he? No, he's not a matchroom fighter.
No, but my point is that Dillian Whyte is a matchroom fighter. How is it that Eric Molina, Dominic Breazeale, Charles Martin, Povetkin, who else? Takam, all these dudes get in line before you, but Eddie basically tells you that, you know, you're essential. It just seems like Eddie just wanted to get him Wilder.
Well, yeah, because what Eddie wanted was a crowning the undisputed champion on UK soil. That's the reason why when Tyson Fury won, he tweeted, "There's no need for a 3rd fight. Let's go on and go for undisputed." Remember that? He tweeted that, and then he had to kind of go back on that because Wilder's not going to step aside, so he kind of had to go back on that, right? Okay, but that's what he wanted. So, I mean, at the end of it, because think about it, man. Joe Big Baby Miller was being given the title shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Big Baby Miller was being given the title shot, and then after he failed the drug test, they didn't go to Dillian Whyte. They went to Andy Ruiz, a dude that only had a 3-week training camp, man. Hey, I got a question for you, man.
What?
Why you got this puff-faced dude on the phone with me, man?
Who?
Why you got this puff-faced dude on the phone with me, man?
Who, Johnny Cruz?
Yeah, man. Why you got puff-face on the phone with me, man?
Damn. Like that? That's the
yeah. Yeah, hey, I still got that Floyd Mayweather painting you sent me.
Wait, who is this? Oh, that's Bo.
Yeah.
What up, Bo? What's good, Bo?
Hey,
what up, bro?
Hey, he just confirmed he sold one painting. He just confirmed he sold one.
No, yo, I bought something off him too, yo.
Yeah. I know. No, I still got that paint, man. It was dope. It was dope.
Hey, Johnny, you there? Oh wait, we can't hear you, Johnny. Yeah. So we just named like 5 or 6 dudes that have gotten a crack before Dillian Whyte.
Mm-hmm. You probably can name 5 or 6 more. Well, a crack before, yeah, man. He beat Charles Martin. And who was his first title defense against? No, his first title defense was actually in the unification matchup with Klitschko, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. That was the second.
Okay.
Now you're gonna have me look up Johnny. Johnny, can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
Mic, Johnny. It was working fine.
Are you doing it from is he doing it from a phone or a laptop? If you're doing it from
no. I'm trying to add him back.
Okay, so I know.
Johnny, can you hear me? Still nothing, John. Come back out and try to come back in, yo. All right, so I'm looking at it right now. No, his Dominic Brazil was his first defense. You hear me, Bo? Bo, can you hear me? Yeah, Dominic Brazil was Joshua's first defense, followed by Eric Molina, then Klitschko, then Takam, Joseph Parker, Povetkin, Ruiz, and then Ruiz again. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, he got the title shot with Charles Martin right after he beat Dillian Whyte. Interesting. That's real interesting. But, yeah, Eric Molina, 2 title shots. Dominic Brazil. Let me add Johnny.
Yo. Hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Hello. Okay.
All right. So your thoughts on Wilder versus Joshua versus Fury being agreement principle for next year?
I want to see that. I don't want to see Deontay Wilder get slapped around again in the 3rd fight. You know my take on this. I don't want to see that shit. What's gonna happen is Wilder's gonna get beat again, and his fans are gonna come out with a million theories and glove gay, and Fury was coked out, and Deontay Wilder was drugged, and bullshit. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that again. I much rather see, to be quite honest with you, bro, nothing against Wilder. I don't like his fans. His fans annoy the shit out of me. I much rather see Deontay Wilder versus Joshua, to be honest with you. I really think that's a fight he can win. And I prefer to not see Wilder and Fury again. I much rather see Fury or Joshua or Wilder and Joshua. I don't know why you want to see that. I don't know why. Because I need
to see if he can check. I need to see if he can change. Now, if you were to tell me that, okay, Fury fights Joshua next, and Wilder takes Whyte, and the winner of Wilder versus Whyte automatically gets the winner versus Joshua Fury, I'll take that too.
That's much better. That's much better because Wilder at the moment he's got to get his confidence up because he's not, at least from what I've seen. I don't know Wilder personally. I'm not in his camp. I don't know anybody in his camp, but I know that from what he's saying, it still seems like he's not taking the blame for the loss. He's still acting like it was the referee. The referee stopped it too early. Mark Green threw the towel too early. I'm a warrior. I go down my shield. You already know about the suit, this and that and the third. So all these excuses is just telling me that mentally he's not accepting that he lost because Fury was just better than him. He's not accepting it.
Okay,
what he's doing is just say it again.
I don't think he's taking accountability as much as I would have hoped. As far as with the Mark Breland thing, every fighter doesn't feel like you should have thrown the towel. That's an every fighter thing.
Right.
So
I mean, I know because even Fury himself, I forgot which fight it was, but a couple fights before that, somebody threw in the towel. He looked at his trainer and said, "Don't even dare." So I get it, but it's not even that. Like, he can be mad that his trainer threw in the towel. That's okay. You know, as a fighter, I feel him on that. You want to go out on your shield. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is he's not accepting that maybe Fury is just a better fighter than me. At least that night he was, because as soon as the fight ended, Wilder started making excuses from the get go. And when that happens, it's just he's not accepting that Fury is better than him. So since he's not accepting that Fury is better than him, he's not going to try to do what he needs to do to win against Fury. He's not going to do that. He's going to keep focusing on his power. He's going to throw a million right hands in his training camp when he doesn't need to. What he needs to do, work on his jab. He needs to work on his defense. He needs to work on his footwork.
If I see one more straight right thrown in training camp, I'm going to kill myself. Why? I
don't know.
Straight right, left hook. No!
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. All right hand. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, there's so many other punches that you could use. And you know what's crazy, bro? If Deontay Wilder actually learned how to box from day one, like I'm talking about, like, he just kept boxing. But I feel like he would have had the tools to beat a guy like Fury because his power is out of this world. We already know that. And for a guy so long and so tall, you see him, you don't think he has that kind of power, but he does, and he can put anybody to sleep. You know, he's put guys that weigh 300 pounds to sleep before. So he has the power. We all know he's got the power. He knows he has the power. He doesn't need to work on something that he already has that's never going to go away. You know what I mean? Like, the last thing to leave you in boxing is your power. It doesn't. Mike Tyson right now, he's 53 years old. I guarantee you he'd knock me and you out with no problem. Because that power is still there. That power is never going to leave. Your speed will leave. Your reflexes will leave. Your power will never leave. So in order for him to beat Tyson Fury I don't think he has enough time, because at the same time, too, he's also, 35, mid-30s, late 30s, something like that. And he just doesn't have enough time to work what he needs to work on to beat a guy like Tyson Fury. He's been doing this since day one. Fury's been crafting his art since day one. Wilder has not. Wilder has just been focusing on power.
But we ain't talking about Wilder versus Fury today. We're talking about your boy Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
I think that's a good. I think that I know that's a fight that everybody wants to see, including you. As much as I don't know you personally, but other PBC fanboys like to shit on DAZN and shit on Eddie Hearn. As much as those guys like to shit on them, on Eddie Hearn and DAZN and anything not PBC related, they're gonna tune in and they all want to see that fight just as much as they as the next guy.
And that door swings both ways because you got guys that hate on PBC.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know. Yeah. I know. I feel like you're one of the only true people that actually covers boxing that doesn't pick and choose, because there's other big pages out there, big channels that they pick and choose who they like. They shit on Top Rank, or they'll shit on PBC and they'll praise Top Rank, or they'll praise PBC, Golden Boy, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just, at the end of the day, fuck promotions. Like, we're watching fighters fight. We don't watch promoters. I don't give a fuck about Eddie Hearn. I don't care about Bob Arum. Respect to those guys, but I don't, I'm here to watch boxing. I'm not here to watch promotion battles.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's a great fight, man. I wish it was next. But he's got to get through Wilder. I thought, my mistake on my post, I thought that somehow, some way they figured out how to get Wilder to step aside. I thought they did.
No,
I don't know.
To be honest with you, I really think that this is a deflection, because this is coming right on the hill. Like, we haven't heard anything about this in how many weeks? Months? And all of a sudden this comes on the heels of Joshua's controversial speech. All of a sudden.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
It changed the narrative that fast. Nobody's talking about the speech. Everybody's talking
I got
about
a question. I got a question. What did Anthony Joshua say that was so bad?
Nothing.
Exactly. What did he say? He's not to not shop at white people's stores. Is that what he said?
He never said white. He just said to basically don't do violent protests, don't loot, don't riot. Hit them where it hurts. Mm-hmm. Refrain from shopping in their shops. Mm-hmm. Support black businesses. And he said that's for any culture that wants to uplift their own.
Support. And that's what people are mad at?
Yes.
That's why people are calling him a racist? Man, I'm telling you, man.
Because, Johnny, simple as that, the same people that don't care about minorities being slain by police is the same people that had an issue with it, because now you're talking about something that affects them.
Right. That's just funny. I thought what he said was way worse. They made it seem like he fucking said "fuck white people" or something like that.
No.
I mean, I don't see any issue at all with what he said. And to what you said, it could be bullshit from Eddie Hearn. He's not exactly the most honest person in the world, and we all know that. Could be bullshit. I don't think it is. I mean, I would hate for that to be the case, but it could be. It could be bullshit from Eddie Hearn. Was that
50-50 split?
That's what they're saying. 50-50 split.
60-40 to the winner.
Oh,
for the next fight.
60-40 to the winner.
50-50 first fight, 60-40 second that goes to the winner. Basically, the same deal for Wilder versus Fury is the same deal for this.
Okay. Where's it gonna take place? UK, or is this coming to the US?
We don't know.
You don't know? Damn.
Yeah,
I would imagine the UK. I mean, that's where it would make sense. But I mean, fight prediction. Of course, you already know who I'm rocking with. Since I've been telling everybody since day one, Fury's the best. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I feel as though Fury showed that he can adapt and he can change his style up. He can punch when he wants to, and we already know he can box. I don't know, man. That's a really good fight. I'm picking Fury. I mean, give me your thoughts on that.
I think Joshua beats him.
You think Joshua beats him? I don't know.
And this is why. Now, mind you, I can see Fury winning too. Winning too. But is Fury going to get a decision if the bout is in the UK against Anthony Joshua?
I mean, he's from the UK as well.
Yeah, but he's not the UK's cash cow.
Yeah, that's true.
If the fight's in the US, I can see Fury winning.
Yeah.
If the fight's in the UK, Fury will have to come forward and beat Joshua up and stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Him coming forward on Anthony Joshua is not Deontay Wilder. His skill set is completely different. He has a better punch variation, a more sturdier man. Those kind of tactics would work against a fighter like him.
Right.
I'm not sure that he'll get the decision. So that's why I favor Joshua in the UK.
Okay. I mean, I could totally see your point and understand why you would pick Joshua. At the same time, too, I mean, I know Wilder can adapt and change his style, but at the same time, him being a come forward fighter, power puncher type of guy, as you saw, I mean, it worked against Wilder because Wilder doesn't fight well going backwards, but he looked sloppy. His punches were all over the place. It's just Wilder's there to be hit. He doesn't move his head. Similar to Joshua doesn't really move his head very much. He does, but not as much as he should. So I don't know if coming forward against Joshua will be as effective. I would have picked him I am picking him to win a decision. If it's fair and it goes to the scorecards and it's a fair call, I think Fury gets it. But I mean, a robbery in boxing, that's not surprising. That happens often, way too much, more than we would like to see. But I mean, I can see a robbery as well. But I hope that's not the case. But boxing controversy sells, so it could be a robbery that leads to a third fight for more money.
Yeah.
hopefully that's not the case, but I think you might be onto something, to be honest with you, because we've been seeing it a little bit too much lately, and it's sickening. But we all know this is a business at the end of the day. So
yeah, exactly, it's business. It's definitely business.
Yeah, I mean, it's not far fetched at all. Like honestly, now you got me thinking. Now I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about a possible robbery. I've yet to see a fight where Joshua won a controversial decision, though. So I mean, it's not like if it was like. Say it again.
You've never seen Joshua go up against an A-level fighter, an A-level prime fighter.
That's true. That's true. At least not in his prime, because Klitschko was way past. But I don't know, because I've never seen. It's not like it's Danny Garcia or Floyd, where we've seen Floyd with some or Canelo some decisions that make you scratch your head a little bit. Danny Garcia, the same thing. There's been a couple of decisions where you're like, wait a minute, but I've never seen it with Joshua. He usually knocks his guy out or he beats him decisively. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he is the cash cow, but I've never seen it with him before. But like I said, you got me thinking now, because that's very well a damn possibility where Fury outclasses him but gets robbed, or it's a draw. Draws are popular in boxing, so
draws make you have to run it back.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
that's why we got the third fight with Wilder and Fury, exactly, because of that draw. So
and if Wilder wins, they're gonna have a fourth fight, right?
That's why. I don't think it'll happen. I really don't. I don't think he's gonna win at all whatsoever. But it's boxing. It's possible he might get caught. But it's just like the thing about it is Wilder hit Fury with shots that would have killed any other heavyweight. Like the shot he landed in the 12th round, if he would have caught Joshua with that, I don't think Joshua would have gotten up, to be quite honest with you. Or any other heavyweight. And even in the second fight, when he got beat down in the first couple rounds, he was landing right hands on Fury. Right hands.
The second round, he landed three right
exactly.
hands. Even though Fury shaded him a little bit, he's still connected. So that's why I'm looking at the fight like, okay, this is going to be a good fight. I'm
gonna be quite honest with you. In the second round, I was like, "Yo, he's landing a lot of right hands." It had me nervous a little bit because I was picking Fury. I was like, "Yo, Wilder's really landing his right hand." Like, I don't know what. Fury wasn't moving his head. He was in boxing. He was just like, "I'm gonna take your shot.
I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to beat you up, mate."
pretty much. But seeing Fury take so many right hands from Wilder when Wilder is known to put people to sleep with that right hand. And a shot that would have probably knocked out Joshua in the 12th round of the first fight. Seeing Fury take that shot and take it, it's just like, I don't know if Wilder can knock this guy out, because there will come a point in time where your skill or your power just isn't enough. You're gonna run into that one guy, that's gonna take your best shot. That's gonna, even though you're very skilled, he's gonna force you to fight, like with Floyd. He fought Castillo, Maidana, guys that, although Floyd Mayweather was way better and levels above skill-wise, they made him fight against Cotto. Cotto made him fight.
Cotto did it with skilled pressure.
Exactly. So I was looking at the fight like, Floyd's winning this convincingly, but Cotto's bringing it to him. I didn't think it. I thought Floyd would beat him pretty damn easily. That was very impressive from Cotto, to be quite honest with you. But that's how it is. Like, at some point, what you do best, you're gonna run into that one guy that's gonna neutralize it. He's gonna make you. If you're a boxer, he's gonna make you fight. If you're a puncher, he's gonna keep getting back up. And that's what Fury is to Wilder. He's that guy that seems like he's gonna keep getting back up, or he's gonna take your best shot.
And Wilder's got to throw another wrinkle, otherwise he's going to get knocked out again. It's just
pretty much. And you know what? As much as I shit on Wilder, man, I know my display name is Wilder is ass. It's just for shits and giggles. I respect Wilder. I want to see what it's. To me, it seems like he's talking like he doesn't accept that Fury is better, but I'm not in his mind. I don't know what's really going on. He could be saying that shit just to sell the third fight. I don't know. He might really think, you know what, I fucked up. It was my fault. let me fix this, fix that. I want to see how he faces adversity and how he comes back. I want to see it. If he wins, hey, props to him, a beautiful story. If he loses, like I'm pretty sure a lot of us think is going to happen, then, you know, it'd be interesting to see what he does next. But honestly, I think he's making a mistake of fighting Fury so fast. I think he should fight a guy that's good and he can beat, like Dillian Whyte. I think he beats Dillian Whyte without any issue. Or even maybe Andy Ruiz, a fighter that we know is high level, but that Wilder can definitely beat. And like I said, I still think, even though he got his ass whooped by Fury, I still believe he beats Anthony Joshua. And I truly do, because we all know Joshua's a little chinny. He doesn't move like Fury, that's for damn sure. I don't know if he can, and I don't know if he can take Wilder's best shot. I don't think he can.
No, Fury's a unicorn.
Say it again?
He's a unicorn. You're not going to see a 6'9" guy who can fight flat, going backwards and quick, agile, then go forward to beat you up. You're not going to see that.
Yep. And then Wilder is taller too than Anthony Joshua, so he's got the reach. So with Fury, he had to step in a little bit more than he would have to with Joshua. And, you know, Joshua being the guy that doesn't back up, I know. And some people might call me crazy. They might say I don't know shit about boxing. And you know, I don't really fuck with Wilder like that. As much as I respect Wilder, I don't really fuck with him like that. But I truly believe that he will cash Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I still think he stops Joshua. It's just
I don't think Joshua will do that.
Foreman and Frazier and Ali, all those, you know, different styles make different fights. But Johnny, I want to thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. I'm going live for the post fight tomorrow. The next fight.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about it.
But all right. Yeah. Just hit my inbox and send me the link. I'll join if I can. And it's good talking to you, bro. Take it easy.
Johnny. Oh, haircuts are essential in Pennsylvania, so excuse me.
Oh yeah, please, man, because you're looking like Afro Man over there.
Real rap, yo. All right, man. Sports Media. I'm out.